the book of Revelation, chapter 17, and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. I'm going to stop right there. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who grew well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to the 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah from the GMS Denver camp. Doing a follow-up to the previous lesson that I recently did here at the plantation. It was a fairly quick one because I was, kind of pressed for time. I got a few more minutes to kind of delve back into it. But this right here is talking about what? Esau and his kingdom crumbling, man. All right, that's what this is talking about right here in Revelation 17. It's talking about the time that we're in now. All right, so understand that the whore that's being spoken of right here is who? America. All right, America is that whore, Babylon the Great. All right, you see, full of many abominations and things that go against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's who that whore is. And now the whore is getting ready to fall, man. It's getting ready to be burned with fire by who? The 10 horns. Who are the 10 horns? That's symbolic to NATO and the EU. That's what this is talking about, man. Okay? And we're watching this unfold right now in real time, man, as we see Donald Trump alienate America from the NATO nations. All right? There's beef between the NATO nations and America, Babylon the Great. That separation is being made. And that's all biblical prophecy. All right? Because what's going to happen is these different nations that were once allies to America, but have turned against America and destroy them with thermonuclear missiles. That's that burning with fire. And you ain't got to believe it, man. But you're going to find out. All right? We have the truth, man. All through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The elder apostles of Great Millstone have been breaking it down correctly for years and years, and now it's happening, man. All right? And I'm going to play a couple of different videos for you just to prove this point, man. So here's a video one of the brothers posted, the Hopeful Elect 3 at Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. To that brother, he be posting all kind of videos pertaining to prophecy, man. And he has this one video that was shared with me by one of the brothers here in GMS Denver, and it's entitled Through. And it's an Edomite or perceived Edomite in his car, crying over the fall of his empire. All right, a lot of these Edomites are starting to see that, hey, it's over, man. The Lord is bringing an end to this bitch. They're being brought out of power, right? Because guess what? The new authority is coming. All right, Yahweh Shai, who they ignorantly call Jesus, man, and he's gonna set up the kingdom of heaven on earth, man, with his people, man, starting with the 144,000 who are Israelites, man. So this is what we're witnessing right now, the fall of our enemies. All right, their system is collapsing. The moral depravity is at an all-time high, and hey, we're rejoicing. But check this out. I'll play a little bit of this because he's crying for like 10 minutes straight. So I'll just play the part I want to emphasize real quick.
He wants to attack infrastructure. He's cut us off from NATO. We have no allies. We have no allies. We are all a fucking lone. He's made a mockery of America, of every...
All right, now you heard what he just said right there, right? What did he say? He said he's alienated us from NATO. He's talking about Donald Trump, man. The great Edomite savior, as they, portrayed him to be. But he's really bringing y'all to y'all destruction, all right? And Yeah, man, he's alienated you from NATO. You let these damn 1948ers, these small heads, drag you into this war. Now Donald Trump is losing his fucking mind, you know, going on social media, making all kind of crazy posts. If you've been keeping up, you've seen, you know, many videos on, you know, that post that he put up recently on, you know, was it Easter, as they call it? Just flipping out, man, crashing out. And America is a laughingstock, man. And not only that, people are turning against America, man. Even its own allies, man. That's all in prophecy, man. This is the revived Roman Empire on its way out. Okay? So that's Revelation 17 right there, man. And also Obadiah 1 and 7. Let's get that real quick. It's all here in the scriptures, man. All right, I'm going to get this real quick. Obadiah 1, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Yeah, man, Esau's being searched out in these last days. According to prophecy, the man of sin is being revealed. All right? You see that? The man of sin, the son of perdition, he's being revealed in these last days. Everybody's seeing it. He ain't nothing but a fraud, a fucking liar, a murderer, a thief, complete fucking loser. Their own women don't even want him no more, man. Look, man, it's over for Esau. He's losing his kingdom. And it's all according to the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? He tried to fake the damn moon landing back in 1969. All right? People believed it for so long. Then, you know, in these last days, you got all type of motherfuckers on social media calling it out as a hoax. And then recently, they just tried to do the Artemis 2 moon mission, and they're calling that out, man. It's over, man. It's done, man. The lies and the deceit, they're being searched out. The crisis actors, all the fraud that you put on the news and media is being searched out, man, and being debunked daily, almost as soon as it goes out. As soon as they put out a deception to the people are calling it out, man, and exposing it, because Esau is done, man. All right, let's read the next verse. Verse 7, here's the point right here. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. What is that talking about? The men that were of his confederacy, meaning those that were his allies. NATO, right? All those NATO nations that were joining to America, they're turning against America, and they're getting ready to set up America for the biggest fall. All right, all these nations are turning against America, man. You see, because America has done nothing but shit on its own allies, and now they're fed up. You see, that's what this is talking about right here, man. This Bible is on point, baby. This Bible is inspired by the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. If you can't see that, it's because you're blind, man. But we see. We got eyes to see and ears to hear, man. Call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And also, it goes into, gotta make this point as well. They eat thy bread goes into those who are, partaking in America's economy, using that dollar. Now all these nations are trying to get away from that dollar, man. You see? Get the BRICS nations and whatnot, man. All right? Everybody's trying to pull away from this bitch. And they're realizing that this is the problem. That they are the problem. All right? These Edomites, and especially here in America, Babylon the Great. And their house is divided, man. You got Edomite nations that are a part of NATO. These European nations, man. They're Edomites. The majority of them, and guess what? They're turning against the American Edomites, man. Showing you that their kingdom is done, man. Worldwide, they're collapsing. All right. All right. So going back to that video that I did recently, this Yale professor, all right, speaking on the collapse of the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire. And before I continue on, understand that right now we're in the modern day Roman Empire. All right, that beast with the 7 heads, one was wounded to death and then healed. That's talking about the Roman Empire going down in the ancient times and being revived through the Edomites today, man, which is what you see today, man. All right, this is the revived Roman Empire on its way out. Okay, everything is based off of ancient Rome, man. the voting system, the Senate. All right, look at the designs of these, Capitol buildings and whatnot. They're designed after what? Ancient Rome. Because they're the same Edomites, they're the same people coming back, man. The spirits don't change. And anyway, let's just go into this real quick. There's a few different sections that I want to emphasize in this dude's little speech here. Check it out.
Kings are very powerful, but over a more limited territory. So there is a king of Italy now. There would be a king of the Franks, or Francia, the former Roman Gaul. There would be a king of the Lombards later in northern.
Now, these people that he's mentioning, these different tribes, are the ones that were united with the Roman Empire in the ancient times, similar to how you have these different nations today united with America. You see the difference? All right. You mentioned the Franks, the Gauls, the Lombards, Visigoths. You go into it, these were all, joined into the Roman Empire as vassal states. All right. Subservient in a way. But they ended up turning against the Roman Empire. Just like what's going on with NATO and the EU, man. You can't make this up, man.
Italy, a king of the Visigoths, first in southern France and Spain. And we'll go over who is where at the beginning of next class.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it right there. I'm gonna jump, but I just wanted to, bring that information out. Those same people that were joined into ancient Rome, they're back today, with their respective names and whatnot, but they're doing the same thing they did in the ancient time, man. Turning against the horde, man. All right. Let me jump real quick. Bear with me. Oh, and real quick, I might put it up in post-production, but there was a news article that I seen recently where the Italians, because he just mentioned the Lombards, all right, in northern Italy in the ancient times. All right. Well, the Italians today, I believe they rejected the U.S. military landing the plane on their land. All right. That's recent news, man, showing you that these different nations that were in league with America are now, slowly but surely turning against America. All right. They're not trying to help out with that war in Iran. All that, man, that's them turning against America. We're watching it play out, man. It's going to end up in them actually firing on America, man. Firing those nuclear missiles on Babylon, man. Let's play this real quick. Check this out.
In the West was not the disappearance of a civilization. It was merely the breakdown of a governmental apparatus that could no longer be sustained.
That's what's going on here in America, Babylon the Great. You see, this place can no longer be sustained. Everything's crashing, man. Everything is deteriorating here, man. Just like the ancient Roman Empire.
The key word here is merely. The destruction of the Roman political apparatus may simply mean that the Roman state ceased to function, but that everything else continued. But really the question is, could everything else continue in the absence of a state and of a political order? The destruction of the political order also means, after all, the destruction of the military system. When we opened this class, we talked about a civilization built on such things as the rule of law and the maintenance of peace. These are no longer possible if there is no military governmental structure. As we'll say a little later, to some extent, people didn't know that it was the end.
All right, now check that out. Check this out. You heard what he said, right? He said in the ancient Roman Empire, the people didn't really know that it was the end. That's what's going on now, man. People eating, drinking, being merry. All right, marrying, giving in marriage, just like in the days of Noah, man, before the destruction came. But guess what? We're witnessing that same type of vibration going on before the destruction comes here. All right, because this empire is going out with a bang, baby. It's going out with violence, civil unrest, and then ultimately that thermonuclear fire, man. The people are just walking around Like there's not a war going on. Like World War III ain't really about to be the last war. All right. They think in their mind it's gonna blow over and things will bounce back. The economy will bounce back. And nah, man, we see it through the spirit, man. This is the end of an age. All right. Ain't no bounce back. Let's continue on. Listen to what he says here. People are just walking around like nothing was going on right before the ancient Roman Empire, pretty much deteriorated and fell.
Because for a while, things seemed to go on as before. People were speaking Latin. They were living in cities. The cities were much less populated, but nevertheless, they were still there. There were still rich people. There were still poor people. In retrospect, though, we can see that things really did change. How much?
All right, so there you go, man. That's the point. People are just walking around like this ain't the end. The prophets have the eyes to see and the ears to hear according to prophecy. We got the full understanding of why things are happening the way they're happening. All right, because Yahweh was getting ready to send his son Yahweh Shai back to take down all heathen authority, to cast down Esau, to set up the kingdom of heaven. That's what's going on. Daniel 2 talks about Yahweh Shai returning to take down all the heathen rulership. Let's get that real quick. All right, here we have the vision of Daniel, way back in the ancient time, man. The Spirit of the Lord called this out, all right, through the dream Nebuchadnezzar had, and Daniel interpreted the dream, all right. Nebuchadnezzar being the heathen king, the Neo-Babylonian Empire. But it says, this is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the power of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. Just like he gave Esau a kingdom. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai ruleth in the kingdom of men. As it tells you in Daniel 4 and verse 17, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai sets up everything that's going on in the earth. Esau ain't ruling by his own power. He's just playing his part in the Lord's movie. He's getting ready to be taken out. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold, because he had a dream of a statue, and the top of the statue had a head of gold. All right, the chest, I believe, was silver. All right, so on and so forth. All right, different parts of the statue had different metals that it was comprised of, representing different kingdoms. All right, the Babylonian kingdom was the head of gold. All right, that's who he's describing right here. He said, thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom. You see, he's talking about kingdoms, inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. So you had the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the head of gold, and then you had the next section, I believe, would be the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Now, what is that talking about, man? That's talking about the ancient Roman Empire. All right, the fourth kingdom. That's what it's talking about right there. And they subdued, pretty much the known world back then, man. They were a superpower, just like America, Babylon the Great. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. So this was referring to the modern day revived Roman Empire that you see today. All right, it's crumbling because you can't mix iron with clay; they don't mesh. All right. So eventually, if you try to mix iron with clay, it's going to fall apart. That's what's happening right now. All right. Part of that iron that represents the infrastructure and the mindset behind this current setup, man, which is based off of what? Rome, ancient Rome. And also that miry clay goes into heavy debt. And the U.S. debt is like in the like $36 trillion or something crazy like that, man. All right, so continuing on, I gotta wrap this thing up, man. I gotta head out. Let's go to the next verse real quick. All right, it says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Because America, It has a strong military, but it's also partly broken, man. Right, the infrastructure of America, Babylon the Great, is crumbling, man. Its allies are turning against it. You know what I'm saying? It's on its way out. Okay, so it's partly strong in a sense, but it's crumbling. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Like I said earlier, man, it's gonna fall apart. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. What is that talking about, man? It's talking about the kingdom of heaven. That's what's coming next at the fall of modern day Rome, man. This current Edomite empire, right? The kingdom of heaven is next. That's it, and that's all, man. It tells you in 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 9 that Esau is the end of the world, meaning the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, meaning that Esau will be in rulership in the earth before the kingdom of heaven is established underneath the Israelites, man, upon the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay, and this kingdom that we're talking about is not going to go down. All right, it's going to be the eternal kingdom, the eternal righteous government of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is coming. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. We have a more sure word of prophecy, man. We know that this is the truth, undisputed, undeniable, man. This is what's going to happen. All right, the head of gold in the statue, that was the Neo-Babylonian Empire, all right, headed by Nebuchadnezzar. Then you had the chest or the arms of silver. All right, that was the Medo-Persian Empire. Then you had the brass, and that would be the Greek Empire. Then you had the iron. Okay, that was the Roman Empire. Then you had the toes, man, the feet, iron mixed with clay. That's what's getting ready to be crushed. And once that goes down, once the toes are dismantled, the whole statue gonna collapse. Symbolic to when this place goes down, all the heathen are gonna be cast down. All right. So that was the point on that one right there. And the rock that's coming back to destroy the statue is Yahweh Shai, man. All right, he's that stone cut out without hands, man. That's what that's referring to. That's symbolic of our Lord Yahweh Shai returning to take all rule and authority from Esau and the rest of the heathen. So these devils see what's going on, man, and they're starting to crash out, man. And they're going to come down with great wrath, as it tells you in Revelation 12 verse 12, before it's all said and done with. But the elect are going to get the victory. All right, because he's going to try to, sustain his rulership by bringing forth this digital system. He's going to try to bring this RFID microchip and try to lock it down. But once they do that, that's when Yahweh Shai going to return in the midst of World War III. All right, that's when they're going to, pretty much launch their nuclear missiles against America, the heathen nations. Once they make the RFID microchip mandatory, all right, be prepared for the nukes to fly and Yahweh Shai to return. All right, so with that being said, man, I might do another part to this, but I got to head out. So, Lord willing, the elect were edified. This is all prophecy, man, playing out. All right, it's already written. We're just playing it out, man. So, yeah, man, end it right there. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. They call me Asherala and a Bible Ball. Shalom to the elect. It's almost over.